Hey guys, about 1:15 on Tuesday. Just finished some snow shoveling with Karen. There's more snow. And I got a new chair with a backrest so I can lean back now. It's good for posture. Anyway, video today is on my least favorite investment product in the world and my least favorite financial product in the world. And I'm gonna say what it is. It's GICs. And I'm going to explain why, because I've come up with there are certain things that we want our money to do when we're not using it. We want it to grow. We want it to not shrink. We want to not worry about it too much. We want it to be tax efficient. We want growth, and we want the growth to be tax efficient. That kind of thing. What GICs are sold as, and I say sold because they are sold very, very much on purpose. The GICs look terrific on a bank's balance sheet for obvious reasons. That is money that is locked in, that is guaranteed a really low rate of return, which they are using to bolster their balance sheet. So they are sold in a very specific way. They are sold by saying, hey, Mr. Client, we will eliminate the feature of investments that causes the most emotional pain. And the feature of investments that causes the most emotional pain is the thought of loss or volatility or that kind of thing. So we'll say, we will take away that emotional pain. And in exchange for taking away that emotional pain, you have to sacrifice upside potential, liquidity. You can't sell these things. There's no secondary market for them. Nobody can buy them off of you. You have to pay a penalty if you want to get out of them early, and they auto renew. So if you get a 6-month GIC and you forget about it, it auto renews into another 6-month GIC. So if you go to them a week after it's renewed, you got to pay the penalty to get out. And it's the least tax efficient investment you can possibly come up with. It pays out interest. Interest is just, so if you make $100 on a GIC, you have to declare $100 in income on your taxes. There are frankly a lot of reasons why I don't like GICs. You can basically do something similar with a hedged bond fund. A hedged bond fund is a really fancy way. Normally, volatility in bonds happens because of interest rate fluctuations. So what you do is you do something a little bit more complex than this, but effectively the principle is you buy one bond that is normal and one bond that's called a floating rate bond. So if interest rates rise, normally that's bad for bonds. So this bond, the normal bond, would go down, but the floating rate bond would go up. So you get this kind of inverse relationship. You can craft yourself a market neutral bond portfolio. I still don't like bonds a huge amount in this environment, but they are necessary for some people. But if you're looking for the effect of a GIC, which is safety of principal, relative certainty of return, nothing is certain obviously in this world, but a hedged bond portfolio is almost as safe as a GIC, and it's going to yield more, and you can do a lot more with it, and you have access to it. You don't have to pay a penalty to withdraw. There's a lot of reasons why. One of the big conversations that I have with clients is about the word risk. And I hate the word risk because when we think of the word risk, we think of rolling dice. We think of flipping a coin. We think of gambling on the outcome of a sporting event. Investing can be simpler than that. I won't get into that, but let's just leave it at that. If you are currently in a GIC, the way to get out of them is there will be something on a statement that says this is your maturity date. Your maturity date is, the 31st of October or whatever. That's Halloween. You go to your bank sort of 2 or 3 weeks beforehand and say, I don't want my GIC to auto renew. I want it to instead be deposited into if it's in an RRSP, then you deposit it into a normal RRSP, or if it's in a TFSA, you deposit it into a normal savings account type thing. Incidentally, sidebar, savings accounts are not much worse than GICs. And the advantage of savings account, of course, is you can withdraw your money at any time. GICs right now are yielding, 0.7% or something like that. You are losing money to inflation every year. They're very popular, and I recognize that. So I understand that a lot of people, including myself, have been in these. They're just a very bank-friendly product. That's all for this week. Let me know if you have any questions. GICs are it's difficult to I find it difficult to explain GICs in a way that a 10-year-old can understand it, and so I'm not always kind of confident in my ability to explain why I don't like GICs. So if it's not clear, let me know, and I'll do my best to be better. Talk soon.